Why do some people seem to attract opportunities, love, money, and ease, while others stay stuck no matter how hard they work? What are we missing? And what do we have to unlearn about success, worthiness, or control in order to actually thrive? Hey, hey, Soul Shine. I'm so excited today to talk about living an expansive life and the spiritual laws that support that with a very special guest, the one and only Christy Whitman. Christy Whitman is a New York Times bestselling author, transformational leader, and founder of the Quantum Success Coaching Academy. After hitting a low point in her own life, she began studying spiritual principles such as the 7 essential laws. And today, she helps people create more aligned, abundant, and expressive lives through coaching, teaching, and personal transformation work. Christy has been featured alongside the voices like Marianne Williamson, Wayne Dyer, and Louise Hay. Welcome, welcome, Christy.
Thank you so much. So happy to be here. Hi, everyone. If you all of you listening, have the kind of energy that this amazing woman has, oh my gosh, I have found my home. You guys are you're so awesome.
Oh my God.
Just love you.
I love you back. Pre-recording, I was gushing over Christy, just how iconic she is. And honestly, like in my head, I thought I was going to just ask you about, the spiritual laws. But when I started just connecting with your energy and then seeing you here in person, I have goosebumps. You are so just fierce and feminine and juicy. And you have something about you that puts me at ease and comfortable, but like I just feel a fullness from you. And I actually want to start there. Like I see you as this energetic master. And how do you get to that point where you are overflowing like you are?
Oh, I'm overflowing right now with tears. I mean, just those words are just my heart is overflowing with that. And it is a reflection of truly how I feel. And how do I do that? It's energy mastery. It really is. It's when a thought comes in. Let's just start with basic. How do I do that? It's when a word comes in or I catch myself saying something like, I can't do that. Right? Mm-hmm. It's up to me to go, wait a minute. That's not true. It's limiting for me to even say that. Mm-hmm. Right? Or one that's very sneaky that a lot of us say that I used to say all the time that I thought that, it was a good thing, but it's actually diminishing our energy. And that is when we say, I can't wait, right? Because when you think about it, can't is one of those words. I have and I'll tell you everybody about it later, but there's a 30-day program. It's free. You guys all get it as a gift. And it's really about each of the words that you want to stop saying because they're based in lack and limitation. Wow. And for me, that's where my journey began, is I started becoming aware of, wow, there's very different mentalities. There's people that think in abundance and all for one and one for all, and that there's more than enough, and, increase in expansiveness and creativity. And it feels good to be around them and to hear their thoughts and to, it's like that. And I want to be like that versus the people that, and that's how I was raised, where nothing's ever enough. You give this much and they want that much, right? You give an inch, they want to take a mile, right? That it's like a draining, never enough. That all comes from lack. And so my study became for myself because I wanted to get from the lack mentality into the abundant mentality. And so really coming and fine tuning it for myself, it's not just thoughts, it's what we say, those words that we say. And so when we say words like can't, our energy gets diminished, it constricts, right? Our possibilities are constricted. Well, when we say, I can't wait, now you could be excited to go see a comedian or, go to a concert or go on that vacation. And you're like, I can't wait. I can't wait. Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait. What you're doing is you're saying this moment right here is not enough.
Right. That's so true.
And you're coming from lack.
Yeah.
And so you asked me, how do I have this fullness? Is that I stopped. My thing is, like most people, I applied universal laws to be able to realize that we're all looking for some type of feeling. We're all looking
Right.
for some type of state of being. And as a strategy in our minds, we think, okay, in order for me to be happy, joyful, abundant, rich, whatever the state of being might be, free, secure, right? Whatever that is, happy, safe,
Yeah.
this needs to happen and that needs to happen in order for me to be. He
Yeah.
needs to do this. They need to do that. She needs to do that, right? There's a strategy that we in our minds, think, okay, well, in order for me to be, I have to do this or they
Right.
have to do that. It's a strategy. But the thing to understand is that the strategies are done and we think in our head, if only that would change, then I could be happy. If we let that go and realize that, wait a minute, the only thing I'm ever responsible for is to choose my own joy, happiness, feeling of wealth, prosperity, that whatever it is. And that energy is accessible to me now. There's no moments to ever feel that you're lacking anything. Because
Yeah.
if that feeling of I'm fulfilled in whatever I need to, so it's like claiming the I am safe and feeling that what it feels like to be safe or secure or free or whatever it is, and practicing that so that it's not this needs to happen in order. So you're not postponing your fulfillment and freedom or safety or whatever. You get to experience it now.
Yeah, that's so beautiful. I'm so glad that you walked us through that whole exercise. And I think what I really hear you saying is that our agency, our choice is always with us when we're conscious of it. So I think that's right. The first part of the unlearning is our unconscious inherited beliefs that the world is responsible for how we are. So first of all, just being aware. And even it's so refreshing to hear someone as like a mastery level as you to still say, wait, I still catch these little words here and there that I can keep refining and keep fine tuning. I'm human.
I am certainly human. I am a student of life as well, right? I mean, it doesn't matter how long I've been doing this, doesn't matter how many books I've written about it. We all are still and forevermore students of life. And, we are co-creators with life. And like you just said, it's the awareness. When we're aware of something, when we have that moment of something exists and we can go, I like it or I don't. If I don't like it, I can let go of it and then choose something I do like. If I like it, I can amplify what I like and create more of it. When you get to that understanding of how simplified our life is, right? Because if we want to
Yeah.
really, really simplify it, whether you call it God, universe, goddess, cosmic mother, universal intelligence, infinite, whatever, it's one formless substance. It's one infinite formless substance. And it's positive. It's abundant. It is expansive. It vibrates at the energy of love. It's creative. It created us. It is us. It's within us. We're breathing it. We wouldn't exist who we are without it. Right. And so it's like
Yeah.
that formless substance is giving us free will to think a thought. And we think a thought, and then that thought starts to become,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You start to think about, like, for example, just for experience here, everybody think about a red car.
Mm.
Okay. Now, I would bet if you surveyed all of the people that are listening, including yourself and me, everybody had a different image or picture of a red car. Some might have a picture of a red Tesla. Other might have a picture of a red Ford. Other might have a red Lamborghini, but I guarantee nobody saw the words written out, red car. It's an image. It's a picture.
Interesting.
So our thoughts, what we think, become an image. And then that image is what we hold. We see that in our mind. We give energy to it. We create momentum with it. And so we need to be really present with, if my thoughts will form, and they will, and the formless substance is waiting for my thoughts to form itself into something, and it is,
Yeah.
I cannot not think. It cannot not create. So
Yeah.
I better choose what I want, or else I'm going to be pushing against what I don't want. So what is it that I want? And really getting to a place of understanding that you got to give yourself permission. You got to take the time, because most time as women, right? Especially, it's like, it's all about what everybody else wants.
Yes. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's
Yes.
like, we got to give from the saucer, not the cup. We got to give
Oh,
from the overflow.
I like that. Yeah. Yeah.
It's so true, because when I am feeling good within, I've got
Yeah.
love, patience, kindness, understanding, I am a better mom, wife, friend, daughter, human being, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
When we are depleted, when you are depleted, when I am depleted, I'm tired and I don't feel well, how much more do I have to give? Not a lot.
Right. No, absolutely. And I think we could go on so many like rabbit holes about internalized social conditioning, about what it is to be a woman or a service provider or being spiritual or being selfish or being human, got having a desire or any of that. And I think, maybe listening to it on the outside, these things might sound so simple, but I think what it really invites is that inner game of relation to self, of what am I making these things mean? Am I a good person, bad person? Where do I anchor myself in these constructs? And that's what makes it so challenging and a journey and so rich for internal healing. Yeah.
Exactly. And to make it simple sometimes is really just to go back to basics. I always say, if you look at,
Yeah.
a basketball player, what do? They practice their free throw shots over and over and over and over and again, right? Because they want to make sure that they've got it in muscle memory, right? For when they're in the
Yeah.
pressure time in the middle of the game, the seconds, their free throw could literally like end the game, win it for them. Like that pressure to have it that, right? It's
Yes.
something that
Automatic.
it has to
Yes.
be automatic.
Yeah.
And in order to do that, that
Yeah.
requires repetition and
Yeah.
immersion. And so with repetition, it isn't like people will say, well, affirmations don't work. Well, not if you do them once.
Right. And not if you don't believe them.
Yeah,
Right.
right. But it's like, okay, I'm going to go get in shape. I go to the gym, I pick up a thing of weights. I went, oh, yeah, I'm in shape. No, unfortunately, doesn't work like that, right?
Yeah. That's
It's,
true.
so it's not just one meal that you eat that makes your
Yeah.
puts your body in shape, or, it's consistency over time. And it's one of those things like watching your words. And I want to make sure I close the loop for everybody, because
Yes.
saying, I can't wait, right?
Mhm.
What human ever likes to wait for anything,
Touche.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's even a song by Tom Petty, waiting is the hardest part,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
when we're thinking about something that's coming and we're like, oh, God, I can't wait. It's like this moment and every other moment to that moment is not going to be okay. So
Right.
there's a
Right.
resistance instead of, and this is something positive you're thinking about. This isn't even
Right.
something, it's the little nuances and those kind of things. But by changing it to, I look forward to.
Ah, yeah.
Now feel the subtlety in that. So you
Yeah.
guys say that to yourself, like, I look forward to going to see that comedian. I look forward to going and seeing my friend in Paris in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
I look forward to, right? I look
Yeah,
forward
yeah.
to doing it,
Yeah.
like all that, right? I look forward
Yeah.
to a Mary Magdalene retreat coming up. Like those kind of like things that
Yeah.
are in my future that I'm creating, that I'm connecting to. And as I think about them, I think about what I want and how pleasing it will be with, and
Yeah.
with detachment to allow for flow, all
Yeah.
that. But it's a very different, it's like, oh, like, this is like,
Experience.
yeah. Cause like,
Yeah.
oh
And
my
I
gosh,
think,
I'm looking forward to it. Yeah.
yeah. And also like the undertones of the words, I think too, are subconsciously there, but it's like if I can't wait, it just reinforces that I don't have it, which is what you're saying, lack. Versus if I'm looking forward to it, it reinforces that I do have it, even if it's on a little delayed timeline, which is abundant. So even the words themselves, the undercurrent of the words all make so much sense. Yeah.
Yeah. What you just said too, it's that giving gratitude, recognition, even that just a sense of giddiness, of eagerness, of something
Yeah.
that you don't have yet, but's coming.
Yes, yeah, right. Because in you're looking forward to it, you're already living the emotional experience of it. So you are living it in the present moment, even though in the 3D it's on a different timeline,
Yes,
but in energetically you are connected to it. So
exactly.
yeah, I love that. It's such it's simple, but it's so profound. And how
Well,
often, yeah, do we do it? Yeah.
and here's the thing, to make it even more really profound from a quantum field level, from a quantum physics level, it's like our minds naturally cycle between the past, the present, and the future.
Right.
And so there are three different states of, it's like a check-in with the mind, right? And
Yeah.
if you think about it, it's like, okay, midday, what did I eat for dinner last night, right? It's like, that's past. What am I going to have for dinner tonight? Oh, I'm going out with my friend. Am I hungry now? Oh, maybe I shouldn't eat too much because, and just in the making a decision, me, no, am I the only one, right? Like
Yeah, no,
right?
same.
Making a
Yeah.
decision about food, we're like, we loop back into referencing the past,
Yeah.
and then where am I now? What am I doing? And then making a decision or a choice, right?
Yeah.
A
Right.
strategy, if you will, to get your needs met, right?
Yes.
Exactly
Yeah.
what we've been talking about. So, but the thing is to understand is that we do this on a lot of things. So if we're thinking about something as an example, say you're going to go to see a concert, right? And you're looking forward to this concert. And then all of a sudden your mind loops back to a time when you got your heart broken at a concert, right? Or it loops back to a time when you had your first sip of alcohol and you got sick at a concert, right? Like whatever that was, right?
Yeah.
Whatever that memory is, it'll either hook you in and create some emotional like resistance, kind of a survival instinct, fight, flight, freeze, right? Or it'll create oh, that was fun. Now now I want to do it even more, right? Especially if it's the
Yes.
same, So
Yeah.
it becomes the thread through. And so we either like get stuck in the past or we have that flow back to the present where we feel okay. And then there's that connection to the future. And that's where a lot of people, when I work with a lot of people, it's like that's where their future connection is like terrified, like scary, fear, worry, doubt about a future where they're not either going to have enough
Right.
or whatever it is, right? Someone can
Right.
have the love of their life and their focus is on losing the love of their life instead of
Right.
living with the love of their life.
Right. No, that's so, so true. It's so true. And I'm a little bit more new to energetics. Like last 2025, I kind of got interested in it. The entryway for me was like cognitive emotional coaching, consciousness. And I was like, what is this energetic thing? And I kind of I'm a simple person from my understanding of it, just understood it on the spectrums of two poles of like survival state versus creation state.
Yes.
And it's like exactly what you're saying. Like, exactly. If I'm worried I'm going to lose them, I'm always in a survival state. I'm always, my energy is tied up. My minds are tied up. I'm not in a creative state where I am creating memories and being expressive and connecting and with love. So I think even to remind ourselves that it can be as simple as like, whoa, okay, let me check in. Which end of the spectrum am I in and why?
Well, let's take that even. I love this conversation. Let's take this a little step further because this is my book, The Flow Factor. This is everything.
Yay.
So when we are in, let's look at it as three different spectrums of vibrations because there's on
Okay.
one side of the spectrum, there's lack, which lack never feels good. And that can go from anywhere from feeling powerlessness all the way through boredom. right? Like
Okay.
any of
Right.
that, like keys on the
Right.
piano, right? Like they're
Right.
just, they're different frequencies, emotions, states of being, right?
Hmm.
Anger, worry, fear, all that is in there. It's
Hmm.
in lack, right? And then
Right.
on the other side of the spectrum is abundance. Abundance is the joy, the freedom, the passion, the purpose, all the good, juicy stuff that we like, right? Well,
Yeah.
there's a space in between that is a neutrality type of, it's a
Mm.
satisfaction, it's a sufficiency, it's a place of I'm okay, then what's next? And this
Yeah.
place, you know what I'm saying? It's like this is a
Yeah.
place that where you can move and flow into abundance instead of feeling like you got to go from fear all the way. I'm terrified into I'm going to just trust and all things are going to work out, right? Like that just doesn't make much sense for people, right? People are like, oh my God, I'm terrified. Well, just be grateful. What?
Yes.
You know, it's
Right.
like there's a
Right. No,
step in
yes.
between.
You're absolutely, absolutely right. And I think you even hinted at this in the very beginning. You were talking about safety first in your example, and I don't remember which example it was, but it made me think of like Maslow's hierarchy of needs, how you
Yes.
have to have that kind of safety
Security. Yes.
satiated kind of
Yeah.
before you can self-actualize. I think
That's
that's
it.
a really important point because I think, yeah, of course, one criticism you could bring is like someone who is in a dangerous or impoverished or unjust situation, it's going to feel really privileged to say, just be grateful and happy. And
Right.
how can we, and sure, maybe we can be grateful for the air we're breathing or, something that is available to all people and also being real and honest about the spectrum of experience. So I love that you intentionally stopped us there on the way.
We need to because that place is that kind of think of that second bucket. It's like the stepping stone over to abundance, or another way of thinking about it is it's a neutral place. It's kind of like pushing a reset button. It's a place where you can connect inward with compassion, with light, with having. That's where awareness comes in, where you start to
Mm,
think about there's something greater than myself. There's a substance here, God source, whatever that is for me, is with me, is flowing through me. Okay, that's when we get back into flow, right? But if we're in like even just I'm bored, right? It's like bringing
right.
compassion to yourself for even having that thought
Mm,
neutralizes. It's like, okay, turn off the TV or change the channel, right? It's like a clean slate. Because here's a couple things. Compassion is not what most people think it is. Compassion is like you're cold and someone hands you a warm blanket and you just like go, ah, like that. That's what compassion feels like. You see the person you love and they give you a hug and you just melt into them. That feeling of like, I'm safe, I'm cozy. Or
mm,
like when you get in your bed at night, you got
yeah,
your pillow, you get exactly how you want it, you get the covers, and then you're like, ah, right? You drift off to
yeah,
sleep. You're comfortable. So that really what we're talking about is satisfied, comfortable,
yeah, yeah,
fulfilled,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
And that's an important thing to understand based on one of the universal laws that I talk about, which is a law of sufficiency and abundance.
Mm,
Because you
mm.
cannot reach abundance if you haven't reached a place of sufficiency. You
Oh, that
cannot
makes sense.
create what you want if you're in lack.
Right.
And impatience, criticism, judgment, all those behaviors come also from lack. So let's look at this from another viewpoint, because what you had said, and I love that you're saying this because I teach this. It's just making me giggle. We teach this in a course called Mastering Flow. You're either in survival consciousness or creator consciousness,
Hmm.
right? And
Love
so what
it.
happens is when anybody, doesn't matter who it is, and it doesn't matter the level of contrast, when contrast, meaning what we do not want, whether it's a
Mhm.
thought, an emotion, something we see, a phone call we got, we could be here forever talking about contrast. When something we don't want happens,
Yeah.
our natural instinct, it's not something we can even, it's a reactive fight, flight, freeze, fawn. Our survival instinct kicks in And what happens many times, depending on the level and how long the momentum is and all that kind of stuff, the activity of the back of our brain, which kicks in, whether we're a turtle, a rabbit, or a dog, right? It's part of our brain too. It's the primitive part of the brain that will spiral and spin until the thing comes or the solution or the problem's done. Well, think about this. Someone that's in survival mode, say with money, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they work really, really, really hard because they want to change their situation with money and they're doing all the things, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they're still coming from a place of, like we were talking about, putting this all together with the quantum loop. If they're looking into their future and they're afraid they're not going to have enough money, they're still in that survival, work hard, push, drive, strive, instead of being able to open up to more of the flow that's naturally who they are.
Right.
Because if you start to think of and see yourself financially free, right? It comfortable with money, right? In that space where you and money are like cohesive, right? Like you and money jive, because money is green energy. That's just what it is. It's energy. And you know, when you can feel, when you think about money, if you constrict or restrict, gosh, I have taught so many classes on creating money and all that over the years. But if you think about money and you have some kind of a constriction, worry, fear, doubt, money doesn't. So you're the one that needs to shift that, because you're creating your reality, say, with money.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think like even bringing in what you just said about neutrality feels like the exact right landing place. Cause it's like, let's take your example of like, I want to create more money and I'm fearful that in the future I won't be able to. It's like, you have to stop in the middle. It's like, I'm going to be okay. It's going to be okay.
Yes.
It's going to be okay. And that, that feels so like supportive.
Yes. And we need to find that place, because we cannot go to the all is well, everything's fine.
Yeah.
Right? That's
Yes. Too big. Jump. Yeah.
So the loop going back into the future, if you can see yourself satisfied, fulfilled, taken care of, protected, safe, however you need to, want to, based on your own needs now and from the past. That's how it all kind of hooks in, because the needs that we have as human beings, a lot of our needs are from a childhood, part of us that didn't get a need met.
Yeah, that's really interesting and so profound, and a really beautiful place to pause with yourself and invite the story or the healing or I'm gonna have to contemplate on that one, but I think that's so real.
We'll invite the compassion in right now. And so like a 3-part process that I will share with everybody right now is that just the idea, thinking about that middle ground, that satisfaction, that compassion, it changes, because now our focus is on that. Our mind goes where, remember, red car. So where we are focusing on compassion, what that feels like, what that experience is, it's like, oh yeah, I like that. You're already starting to get a sense of that connection. Now wrap your arms around yourself and give yourself a hug. Just everybody, please do this. And just let yourself for about 90 seconds, just feel your own support. Feel your own, I've got you. Feel your own, you're okay. And then even tell yourself that. That's the 3rd part, is that words of affirmation. I'm okay. You've got this. Things always work out for you. And then that's where you start again, right? From there, now your nervous system is calmer, and you feel that it's like,
yes,
you just took like a breath, like a relief breath, right? Because that was all in the nerves, right? That was all in that survival mechanism. And here's another piece too that I didn't even do before. At the back of the head and neck, there is how we have chakras. There are 7 main chakras that are energy systems, and they all, do a different purpose, but we're an energy being. We're an energy receiver all day, every day. We're like breath. We're receiving in energy and out and all that. We're an energy container. We're holding energy. And then we're also an energy transmitter where we're transmitting energy out. And then that's how we attract things back to us via law of attraction and universal laws, because we transmit out a vibration and then we create, attract, magnetize. There's a lot of different ways of saying that. Manifest, right? We call into being, into the third dimension from the non-physical substance. We do that from our consciousness. What's our consciousness? The words that we speak. I can do that. I'm looking forward to. Wow, I'm excited to. I would love to do that. I prefer to do this. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh my gosh, this is so appreciated, right? Like appreciative. All of that creates a very different energetic experience than I can't, I don't know, maybe I shouldn't, I have to. All of those, draggy down words that don't feel good.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's so true. I want to pick on your wisdom or pull from your wisdom about specifically like receiving. It has been such a challenge, and I don't know if it's like, I don't know, a woman thing or other identities, I'm sure hold it, but I'm like still kind of stuck in my head and like just find the invitation of how can I understand this from a more energetic place? Like there's such if we like step back, my head and my spirit know that all living beings are sacred and deserve health, deserve safety, deserve love. But like being here and seeing the injustice and seeing the different
contrast.
Yes, thank you. The contrast. It is very hard, I find, to like feel good or be open to receiving. Somehow there's like guilt. There's guilt tied in. And yeah, I find myself blocking I was talking about this with a colleague. We work in a hospital and we take care of children with critical illness. And she was even saying the opposite, how she will block herself or not, she'll feel guilty for like her small grievances in life because they're not as big or dramatic as, the families that we serve. And I just found that interesting that we both have this sort of guilt around it, I guess 2 ends of the same coin. And I have been sitting in meditation and trying to open myself up to gratitude and being grateful for even just, receiving the air I'm breathing, receiving in the smallest of ways to create that relational change with receiving, trying to untie it from earning and, value, knowing I'm intrinsically worthy. But I would appreciate any wisdom you would have to share around the energy of receiving.
Yes, I'm excited to dig into this with you. So first of all, the energy of, let's just call it both guilt and shame, because they're kind of like eyebrows. They're not twins, but they're sisters, right? It's like they're just right there, right? Guilt and shame. So the shame or the idea of we have to, as men have it too, they have it in their own ways. We, as women, have it in a certain way. Don't take more than you need. Leave everything else for everybody else. Make sure everybody else is taken care of, right? It's like the hostess with the mostess. Like everybody else gets the hors d'oeuvre, and then maybe like at the end of the night, the hostess is starving because she didn't get to eat, right? Like that kind of a thing. So that goes with what we've been talking about with giving from the saucer, not the cup, right? That kind of thing. Yeah. So being able to be free of guilt and shame is important, because before you can even get into the neutrality part, it's like if you're trying to bring in compassion to what is like a container, right? I have a bottle of water, right? If this bottle of water is already full and I try to go pour more into it, nothing's getting into it. It's going to, nothing's getting in. So when you have this space of shame and guilt, which a lot of women do, I know as myself, I made a vow to myself when I was a entrepreneur, coach, had my own business, and two little small, guys at home, 16 months apart, and had it all, did it all kind of thing. Had an incredible support system in order to do that. However, when I was doing work, and I was fully present without guilt and shame. I wasn't thinking about how I should be with my kids.
Right.
And when I was with my kids, I was fully with them, so present, not thinking about what I should be doing with my business or my husband or, I was fully present, because the first thing is we all have a relationship, a habitual relationship with things like guilt and shame.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And when you think about it, guilt has a shelf life of like 60 seconds, meaning if that's an emotion. Emotion is like about 60, it takes 90 seconds to have a processing wave of emotion, right? So if we feel guilty about something, it's like, wait a minute. That's us paying attention to ourselves. We don't want to ignore any emotion that we have or any signal that we have, right?
Yeah.
But the guilt turns into guilt beatings that then lead to persecution of the self and shaming of the self. And we get into that first bucket, lack or survival consciousness, or the drama triangle, where we become the whole, like, we are a victim and we're persecuting. It's an ugly place over there as a human being. We go in there, right? Here's the deal though. Most people live over there and then have a moment of joy, right? And maybe it's like, oh, I live here Monday through Friday. It's Friday night, Monday, and then Monday morning they go back there, right? It's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I live there. It's like, rah, 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 hey, that kind of thing. But it's like, the real thing is to live over here, is to live in that aligned place where you feel fulfilled in gratitude, and you can find the good stuff. It's being over here with moments of,
yes,
right?
Yes.
But when you're over here and you're in survival mode and you are, say, in guilt and shame, one thing you can do, I'm going to do a couple things. I was talking about the energy centers or chakras. There's one at the back of the head and neck where you have like that divot that goes into the neck where the spine, just at the top of the spine, starts. So imagine that you're opening it up. Sometimes I like to think of like a radiator or like a bathtub knob, and you're opening it up, and just imagine that all of that stuck energy, because any of that push against, resistance, fight mode is in there. Any of that, like, I'm stuck, I don't know what to do, is in there. Any of that, I got to get out of here, I got to get away from myself, is in there. I got to make sure everybody else is, that fawning is in there. So just letting all of that, just using your imagination. I like to imagine that there's just like a big waterfall of old muddy energy just releasing out the back of the head and neck. And then as that's releasing, it's kind of like, okay, you took the bath, you don't need the water anymore, release the water out the bathtub. And then imagine that light is pouring down through the top of your head, just filling yourself up. And then with that light, bring your focus and attention. We're going to go past the heart right now, but bring your focus and attention all the way down into your belly. Because your belly, your lower body, this is where your emotional body is. This is where we naturally will feel something like, hit me in the gut, right? Like when I got the news, it felt like it hit me right in the gut. Or my gut told me, I had a gut feeling, right? There's like that emotion is right in there. And when we hold emotions like shame and guilt, we hold it and it becomes like this big, huge shame tank where we're very sensitive that any little thing, we're going to feel shameful. We're going to feel bad about ourselves. We're going to make other people feel bad. And that's what we're vibrating in, is just feel that energy of just complete shame and guilt and how horrible it feels. And we don't want to just ignore it. We want to at least address it. And when you're there, just start to feel the sensation, the pulsation of it. And as you do, it actually starts to, when you're present with it, it actually starts to release. When you're present with yourself, when you're present with an emotion, if it's a lower level emotion, it releases and detaches and goes away as long as you don't go back up in the head and create a story about it and re-engage it. But if you're staying down in the belly and just letting this energy of shame and guilt just pulsate out of the body, it's almost like imagining you've got a tank around you and you're just releasing the energy of it, and that all that energy in the tank is just releasing out. And just feel it all cleansing around your outside of your aura, inside. And then bring that energy. Imagine again that you have that light coming down about a foot above your head, imagining it's pouring down through the top of your head, and then going again past your heart and just filling up, just going back into that neutrality place, filling up with light, that compassion, just filling up your entire lower belly, your emotional body, letting it move down your legs, your arms. You could even give yourself a big hug at this point, giving yourself that hug and letting yourself feel that compassion, letting yourself just come into a neutral place. And then from there, now bring your attention to your heart center and imagine that it's like you're opening the doors, you're allowing in more good things for yourself. And just feel that what you want is coming to you. Now there's other things, strings, layers here. There's, the whole idea that if you take more than your share, others aren't going to have, how can you be happy when so many people aren't? There's a lot of layers in there, but the thing, just to bring in this energy and this allowance, it's a permission. It's for you to say, I give myself permission to be fulfilled, to be in joy, to be in compassion, to be peaceful, to whatever the state of being, to feel safe. I give myself permission within myself. It has nothing to do with anybody or anything else in this entire universe. The need that I have, that I've been strategizing to get for my whole life, I can give this to myself, allow myself to feel it, and I get to keep it.
Mm.
That feeling of I am safe.
Mm-hmm.
I am free. I'm enough. I'm peaceful. I'm successful. I'm abundant. I'm loved. I'm lovable. I'm supported. But that feeling of that's what you then fill the container with now and bring that into your heart center. And on a different level and a different conversation for another time, just as you can come back and just bring yourself back into and just feel how different you are energetically. Just know that it's really interesting when you really get that, how you feel inside. It's not about anyone or anything else. It's so personal. And that's the thing, is that we for so long, we're looking for that to do and that to do before I can then feel, right? I'll feel successful when. Now I got to go do all that stuff. And then I get there and it's like, I thought at the mountaintop I was going to find my joy.
Yes. Yeah.
Right. And it's like, well, the joy is inside of me, and I'm the one that has to give myself permission no matter what, because you know what, it's, there's 5 aspects of consciousness. Again, it's what we say, the words we choose. It's what we think, our thoughts, what we picture. So remember that I said red car, you had a picture, what we imagine, what we hold, our perspective of something, our emotions, and then our actions. Mm-hmm. And that's all we have influence on for ourselves, not for anybody else.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And I thank you so much for that practice. I feel so held. I do feel so peaceful. And as I was feeling it, you were, of course, you were putting words to exactly what I was feeling, which was permission, that you don't have to necessarily resolve all the layers of, if I have someone takes away from someone else or whatever. But what it did was make room for you.
Yes.
Even in the story or even in the other part of humanity, which of course goes back to everything you've been saying about coming home to yourself, empowering yourself, loving yourself, creating space for yourself, permission for our whole selves, even as complicated and messy and whatever, to exist with love and with compassion and just as it is, but allowing ourselves to fill that cup so that it can hit the saucer. And that was so, so beautiful. Thank you for
Thank
that
you.
practice.
You're
Ah,
welcome. You're welcome.
oh, you're
When
so
last
delicious.
Oh, thank you. You're so sweet. So honoring. You're just a doll. One thing I wanted to say is because you were asking about receiving. So this is the last piece I wanted to say about
Mhm.
that. And I talk about this in the book, The Art of Having It All, which was one of my books that hit the New York Times. And I talk about in there that there's an allowing meter, kind of like a thermometer, right? It's
Mhm.
like we allow ourselves to go so high, but then we won't allow ourselves to go so low. So we all each have our
Mm.
own, you know. And so the cool thing is that you can stretch it,
Yeah,
right?
right. Yeah.
You can feel your way into how much love will I allow. You
Hmm.
know, I remember early on when I've been with my husband for 20 years, and early on in our marriage, he had so much love for me. Sometimes it was overwhelming, and I would start to pick fights because I'm like, it's too much, too much.
Right, right.
Uh, my meter is going, nope, off, turn off, no, right? And so I thought, okay, am I either going to make this guy love me more or less? Pick fights until he's annoyed with me so that he doesn't love me anymore? Or maybe I can just increase the amount of love and attention and affection that I can receive. And boy, it's like we're still 20 years later, you know, I know it's very sweet. He's just the most wonderful man, but it's the more I open up to, the more he gives.
That is so beautiful. And I feel like just to round out, like we've been talking so much about abundance, and to me, the definition of abundance is like the freedom to give and the freedom to receive in circulation and reciprocity. And like your marriage is that. It's
Yeah,
wow,
it's a
what a
quote.
like beautiful container through which to grow and experience that with somebody else. Oh my gosh, God bless your marriage. God bless your home.
Thank
God bless those
you.
babies.
They're not babies anymore. One's turning
Ah,
17, two
they'll
days.
always be. I tell my
Yeah,
kids, even when you're 100, you'll be my baby.
still, I know it's crazy though. Yeah,
Oh,
parenting in and of itself, right? What a joyride. I mean,
yeah.
it's just yeah.
Yes. I wish I had another 5 hours to talk to you. I feel like we just started. I feel like I have so many more questions. Oh my God. I'm gonna find you in all your things. I know you have 7+ books.
I have 7 books, an ebook. I mean, I've got hundreds of courses, hundreds of meditation series. Yeah, that's
How would you love for people to work with you? What makes you feel delicious and satisfied?
you know what, sweetie, I don't ever offer anything that I don't feel is like the thing that I would love to be offering at the time. So all of it, it's almost like saying, who do you like better? Which kid do you like better, right? And I
Yeah.
feel like that about all my books. They all evolve and they all change. But
Yeah.
honestly, like if you're going for a book, I'd say The Flow Factor, which is my latest book that came out in September. It really
Congrats.
does help us understand this whole like survival
Oh my
consciousness
God.
versus creator consciousness. So that's definitely something to check out. But what I love to do the most is private retreats. I have people come to my casita and, pick them up at the airport, and I have a healing room over there, and we do work with the council and really just do a lot on just full on energy work. And so I get to that gypsy in me comes out, and
I
I get
love
to
that.
yeah. So that's really fun for me. I really
How
love
can
doing
people
that.
sign up?
Well, you could go check me out at christywhitman.com, but I would recommend that to start out is that program that I was telling everybody about, and it's for free. You can go to watchyourwords.com, and I
Okay.
really recommend, because when you go there, you'll be in my community, so you'll see other offerings that we have going on live. But more importantly is those 30 words. When you start to, and they're interactive, like each video, I'm talking to you and I'll say, okay, say this, right? Okay, Sadie, say
Okay.
this, right? And you get to feel within yourself how that word, you might be like, yeah, that word's fine, right? I don't have a problem with that one. But
Right.
some words you're going to be like, whoa.
Wow.
And that's it's life changing. I wish we had 5 more hours too, because I have story after story of people that would just change one word, which changed their energy, which changed their entire manifestations and possibilities. It changed their life.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And I feel that so much from you. Like that, like you just feel like limitless. You feel so full of possibility and hope and like, I don't know if ferocity is the word, but like definitely like
I
a
like that.
forward strength about you. So yeah, thank you so much for being exactly who you are. Thank you for
Oh.
putting your light into this world. Oh, I'm like forever fangirl. Ah, yes.
Thank you.
Everybody
Thank you
go
so
work with
much.
Christy. I will definitely put all of your links and things in the bio, and I just look forward to also learning from you.
Yay. I'm really
Thank you.
happy. Thank you so much for what you're doing, that you have this amazing podcast, and just these conversations need to happen. So thank you for having and creating the platform and the courage and the consistency and persistence to do this. So thank you so much.
Wishing you all play, possibility, and peace. Wishing you to feel supported in this space and so honored to be a part of your soul tribe. Sending you love, and we'll see you next week.